Okay, so our oven has come up to temperature. We're at 240 degrees Fahrenheit, which is around 115 degrees Celsius. The beans have come up to temperature with the oven, and we're beginning our pre-roast. At the beginning of the pre-roast, I'm going to just spray a little bit of water in there, and then just give it a little bit of a shake, right? And what that water does is it helps to reduce the microbiological load on the cocoa. What really kills bacteria, or mold for that matter, any type of microorganisms, is a combination of water and heat. So the addition of water, that water will vaporize and form steam in the roasting chamber, and that will help to bring down the microbiological load of the cocoa. If we just use dry heat, we'll have a much less effective kill step, and in addition we'll have to roast to a higher temperature and for a longer period of time. Now, this is just an extra precautionary step. Most home chocolate makers don't do it, but I add it because I think we want to always think about food safety. And remember that those cocoa beans are a raw agricultural commodity, and they are considered to be contaminated, okay? And the roast is our kill step. So now, what's going to happen, this is going to roast for 10 minutes, and our pre-roast is going to last for 10 minutes. Then I'm going to turn the temperature up to 270, roughly 132, 133 degrees Celsius, and I'm going to roast for 30 minutes. However, when it gets to be about 20-25 minutes into that roasting step, the timer will say 5-7 minutes. I'm going to start to check the roast. Now, I have a pretty good idea that 30 minutes is enough to roast these beans. But if you're just starting without any knowledge of your cocoa, you have to determine the end of the roast. And we do that by sampling the beans, breaking open the shells, and tasting the cotyledon, crunching it between our teeth. And when that cotyledon, the nib, turns from rubbery texture to a crunchy texture at that exact point, then our roast is completed. Now, once we set the roast for a given type of beans or a sample of beans, we can usually, just set the timer and go. But in order to set the roast, to determine the correct roast for a sample of beans or a lot of beans, we need to check, and we need to find that endpoint, that sweet spot, which assures that we're going to have the perfect roast for a fine flavored cacao. If we roast too long, then we can burn the beans, but even before we burn the beans, we may drive off some of those aromatic notes which we want to find in our chocolate. And so I'm not going to make you watch this roast, all right? But what's going to happen is that I'm going to restart when we get to about 5 minutes, and then we'll demonstrate how to check the final roast.